So just so that's happening, whenever we're in studio, we don't have problems with it. It runs good. In fact, I understand, I heard correctly that we're going to have a hard line in my studio as well, just so that is going to be a non-problem there. And just know that we're working it. People like Kenny are working it. Everybody's trying to work around a system that really is not 100% solid.
Exactly. And, I'm live streaming and YouTubing from my own account for my Facebook page, and then the YouTube account, Keep Arkansas Legal. I just got where, thanks to Chrome and some other, and my own portable Wi-Fi, I'm able to live stream a little bit. But, of course, you can only hear me. You can't hear what else is on the radio. So it's kind of a mixed bag of what you can do. Of course, the big things that we came here to talk about and what I was here for earlier.
Sanctuary City.
Exactly. SB 411 by Gary Stubblefield.
Congratulations to the senators to get that through the Senate committee.
Yes, these Senate committees are very difficult. It needs 5 votes in order to pass, or to pass by voice vote. And it was able to do that. I think there was only one audible no. And I can't remember. I think if it was either Letting or Ingram. I honestly couldn't tell. But it got. No, there was not a roll call, which is kind of good because it. Anyway, so I wasn't quite sure, but we had a lot of testimony for and against the bill. You can see you can track this bill, SB 411, as it had. So now it goes to the full Senate. It's also supposed to be an Arkansas House Committee on City, County, and Government Affairs tomorrow at 9 a.m. I assume they will allow testimony from people there. I plan to be there tomorrow.
Okay, so let me hold you right there. Now, you talked to Stephen Mitchell, correct? I did. That bill cannot be heard in a House committee if it has not passed on the Senate floor. Is that not correct?
Right. So he was thinking it might be Monday as soon as.
Okay.
Because everybody was saying what's going on is that the House hadn't been voted on in the Senate.
Floor, yeah.
So it would be tomorrow.
And I don't think we actually can get to the Senate today, so probably have to go to the Senate tomorrow. And then if it goes to the Senate tomorrow, then go to the House on Monday.
Monday committee, and then a full House on either Monday or Tuesday.
You go on Tuesday for 24 hours. And then
Yeah.
after it passes the committee, it's waiting 24 hours.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's the rule then.
This is
They
parliamentary procedure that we talk about.
They maybe suspended the rule. They were
Are
hearing
they
bills.
suspended the rule?
They were hearing some bills yesterday in committee. I think that we're not even on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, I have heard that before. That's kind of why that's one reason I went down to the House rules to make sure the e-cigarette tax, the House version of it, didn't get heard. And I even asked the chair. So yeah, it's kind of a. But if Stephen Meeks says that it's.
Sorry. So there's SB 571, but Jim Hendren looks like an e-cigarette tax. Is this the one you were talking about?
No, there was a House version of it, HB, I think 1771. The vaping people talked to me about it. I live streamed the committee there, but they did not hear the bill, and so I assume it's not up at all. Regarding SB 411, I assume you're correct in that it will be heard in the full Senate floor tomorrow, Friday, when they convene at 11 a.m. Public's not allowed to comment. You can watch in the gallery or the live stream. And then Monday, it should be in that House committee whenever they meet, and people, I assume, will be allowed to testify then again. We do need people to show up when these bills are being done. There was a lot of activists there, and I have video of each of the things that they said.
Please tell us that somebody actually said in that meeting that coming into the United States illegal was no different than getting off speed.
You are correct, and I've posted the video of that. I posted my own testimony where I talked about a lot of the effects of illegal immigration in general on the national, state, and local level. Nationally, oftentimes, sometimes the excuses are brought up, and they were brought up again, that this is a federal issue. Well, I pointed out that the federal government failed to secure the border in the 86-87 amnesty. So, I mean, they basically have forfeited that issue and forced it upon the states to have to deal with. on a state level, I brought up a lot of examples of how illegal immigration has hurt us. I brought up the story of Sabian Duran, who lives in Arkansas, whose son was killed by an illegal alien from Guatemala. She actually came here legally from Germany. And then I talked about the shootout that occurred with a police officer, nearly killed Northwest Arkansas by an illegal alien. I talked about the documentary Meth Storm USA, where at the beginning of it is an illegal alien smuggling meth and from what they call Mexican ice in. And then I talked about on a personal level how there was a house that's been busted several times, at least 4 times in the course of several years. It's less than a mile from where I live, and going to walking distance of Indian Hills Elementary. But after I believe it's the one after I testified. Actually, no, it's the one after that. It's the one after Wayne testified. It was a young girl who said that she basically equated legal immigrants with illegal aliens, and that's kind of been the mantra. And then Wayne testified about some of the issues regarding Donald Trump and the federal issues. And then the lady that spoke on afterwards, I think she was the last one. She's the one who got up and said, "Look, I litter and I speed and I break the law." And then she was asked to clarify that basically, is a country allowed to have laws? And she sort of said yes, but in a way where she said it doesn't really matter. And that's really their attitude when it gets down to it. They are for open borders. They do not care how much harm is caused by illegal immigration, how many disease outbreaks occur, how many crimes occur, the crack, cocaine, epidemics that occur. They don't care. They want this nation to be able to just allow as many caravans in as possible, and it really is sad because it has harmed us. I did mention the Kate Steinle case, where the sanctuary policies were what got that woman killed. It wasn't just illegal immigration in general, which is bad enough. It was the policies that allowed individual to
shooting at a dog.
Yeah, with an evil gun. And of course, they oftentimes would mention that the gun was stolen from a government official. So yeah, those gun-free policies didn't work. In San Francisco, that's where that occurred. And of course, they've had sanctuary city policy for a while. And what's even worse, and I don't remember if I mentioned or not, but they sentenced him, and I think they only charged him for like a few months for discharging the firearm. They basically acquitted him of the murder charge because San Francisco wanted to make a statement regarding Trump. And that's kind of an issue that I've talked about now, is that these people do not care about what harm happens to citizens. They talked about how Little Rock, they claim that no city's actually promoting sanctuary cities.
Little Rock has been doing it for at least 3 years. I talked about how Mayor Stodolo was doing that.
Yeah.
I've been yelling about it forever.
Yeah, they've been issuing IDs to illegals. They've been giving them multiple crimes. North Little Rock had the Guatemalan consulate, and I videotaped that, where the Guatemalan consulate was allowed to give IDs to their illegal aliens. And so there's a lot of cities that aren't officially calling themselves a sanctuary city. In reality, they're initiating the same policies. That's kind of when I wanted to ask regarding ASA and J.R. Davison, who was here earlier. Even though they don't officially announce, they do policies that have the same effect. And what I worry is about one day, some kid's going to overdose on Mexican ice, or somebody's going to get run over, somebody's going to get shot, and they're going to have, in-state tuition, and they're going to have an ID because they were helped and allowed to do banking with, Bank of America, thanks to the matricular card. And these sanctuary policies are going to have the same effect in terms of helping crime.
Well, and I give credit to the legislature. A lot of people who 2 years ago would not have voted for that SB 411. Would not have voted because they didn't see it as a problem. Now see it as a problem.
Exactly. We are not actually a country. It is a narco state. El Chapo even admitted in his court testimony that he basically bought off the Mexican president. And it seems like the rest of the politicians there, anyway, they're basically puppets of they've allowed the Mexican cartels to take over the country, unlike Colombia, which eventually did fight against it. If you watch the TV series Narcos and Narcos Mexico, you can kind of see they really do kind of illustrate what happened. Colombia had Hispanic leaders like Lorca and General Serrano and others who risked their lives. Some of them lost their lives in fighting against the cartels. They ignored the fake charity done by these cartels. Who often buy off soccer fields and everything else to try to win the public, and they just set up and said, no, we're going to take our country back. And now Colombia is actually a place where Venezuelans are actually fleeing to, because they've actually at least made some efforts to reform. But Mexico, they're political leadership. This is nothing but cowards, along with their media outlets, Telemundo and Univision. Jorge Ramos, he's been nothing but a coward on the issue of Mexican corruption. I mean, it's taken Venezuela to be almost a place of cannibalism for him to even challenge the president there, and then it's right back to leave the borders open. And same thing with LULAC, La Raza, Americans United, which was the illegal alien group that testified today. I pointed out the fact that when there was an issue regarding Club Troy that was busted down in Little Rock. They often talk about, well, we need to have these sanctuary policies so we can have a relation with a community. Well, Club Troy was busted last year. I don't know if it's Troy or Troy's, but there were 12 illegals there, and they were busted in part because of an investigation calling underage kids getting liquor. And I don't know. Usually when that's involved, there's usually things like drugs. There's oftentimes prostitution. There's oftentimes all kinds of other crime that goes along with that. But Americans made the same comments that they always do, that it's a civil right to be here, and this is racial profiling, and I mean, it's just the same stupid excuses you hear over and over and over again. And the American people were sick of it years ago. They were sick of it when they voted in Trump. They've been sick of it for years and decades now. States have started to rise up and say no to this, and I think Arkansas is in the running to do that in a big way, especially now, and then possibly in 2020. The primary is going to be a big point where we need to vote out some of these people like Dan Douglas and others who basically sold out to the illegal alien lobby. Big Education, Tyson Foods, the Chamber of Commerce, these leftist, liberal, Hispanic activist groups like LULAC, La Raza, America's United, and these fake Christian organizations like the Unitarian Church and others who basically support illegal immigration and do not care how much harm is done. I think the people of Arkansas are going to fight, rise up, and hopefully primary some of these folks that have been pushing for this and say, we don't want this here.
All right, let's get a break. It's 3:13 on a Thursday, our last day to be a captain this week. We'll be back in studio tomorrow. Go get a very good friend, insurance agent Dwayne Smith over in Sherwood. Type of contract and insurance policies that protect you. Here's what Dwayne would like that in 3 seconds. And I told you on 819-0373 and come to their offices at 3920 Steel Avenue in Sherwood and make an appointment to bring your insurance policy with you and to take a look and let them look at your insurance policy, look at what they offer, and see how much money that they can save. They can show you that in real time. Right? They can do that. So call 501-819-0373 and then go to 3920 East Steel Avenue in Sherwood and professionals will help you save some real money on car insurance, home insurance, boats insurance, motorcycle insurance, everything you can insure. And that's the Dwayne Smith Insurance Agency in Sherwood.
Okay. Oh, crap. Oh, wow. Done. All right, I got to take off. I got to do some errands and get ready to miss at 4. Thanks for having me on. Oh, crap. Have fun with that. Have fun with that.
Let's see. I think it's this lady right here.
And I'm putting on YouTube, and I'm about to put on YouTube, but its title is Illegal Alien. Open Borders Activist Equates Speeding with crossing the border with illegal immigration. Not really, no. I mean, they're just usually there's a thousand in the area that's sent back. They're not fine.
A lot of times they let go, aren't they? They don't even send back in a lot of cases.
Oh yeah, that's true now.
So if it's a family, they just let them.
Well, if it's supposedly a family now, that's what they're doing is they're taking kids and they're it's but then they're like, oh,
So it's a Dan Douglas.
That was one I wanted to put on inside tuition for a legal field, but I never got a chance to because I asked. Hopefully, we'll have to.
Have you enjoyed the show today? Did you say yes or no? Oh, you should say yes. Okay. Good.
Oh, look like lower